Dear viewers, welcome back to our channel Last Minute Electrical. In this video lecture series, we will discuss the various topics of power electronics. This is the fourth lecture of this video series. In the first three lectures, we already discussed about the diode and few topic of thyristor. So in this particular video, we will discuss the gate firing circuits, out of which R firing circuit, RC firing circuit, and thyristor commutation. What is thyristor commutation, natural commutation, force commutation, and also we discuss the class A commutation, class B commutation in this particular video lecture series. Okay, so let's go for the gate firing circuit. Actually, for triggering on a ACR, there are five process that already discussed in the previous video lecture. So what was those? First one is forward voltage triggering, second one is gate triggering, third one is dV by dt triggering, fourth one is temperature triggering, and fifth one is light triggering. All of these five process to trigger a ACR is already discussed in the previous video lecture. Okay, so in here, in that time I also says that the out of these five topic, this gate triggering method is the most finest method and most efficient method to triggering on a ACR. So there is various way for gate firing circuit, means to trigger on a ACR by using gate terminal. There are various way. So out of those, we are discussing two way, the most important and most popular two way. One is known as R firing circuit, another is known as RC firing circuit. R stands for resistance, RC stands for resistance and capacitance. In this circuit, R firing circuit, only resistance is used. In RC firing circuit, resistance and capacitance both are used. So let's check for the R firing circuit. So this is the circuit diagram for a R firing circuit. What was those? There is a supply over here that is denoted by Vs. Okay, and we are using three resistor. One is R1, another is R2, and last one is R3. And this is our load, and this is our actual ACR, and this is the ACR. This side is known as, already we know, this side is known as anode and this side is known as cathode, and this particular terminal is known as gate. So we will fire in this terminal only with the help of this diode and these three resistor. Okay, so in here the R1 should have some value, means for designing this circuit we have to know we have to know the formula for what is the value of this R1 we selected. R1 selected on the basis of this, means what? R1 should be such a value that if suppose this gate terminal can resist up to a current of Ig max. Suppose if there is no R2, no R3, then R1 is only capable, R1 itself should be capable to limit the gate current less than or same to Ig max, not more than Ig max, because if the current is more than Ig max, then this terminal will be damaged. So if R2 is 0 and R3 is none in this circuit, then R1 should be itself enough capable to limit the current with less than Ig max or equal to Ig max. That is why we have written over this formula: supply voltage by Ig max should be less than or equal to R1. Okay, so this formula we have to understand very well. And this R2 circuit, R2 resistance we are using over here for varying the input current to the gate terminal. Okay, we are using this R2, and in here R3 we are using for stabilizing this circuit. What does it mean? The current drop across this R3 should not be more than the voltage, limit to get to cathode. Means suppose this terminal, means this is gate terminal and this is the cathode terminal, the voltage drop across this point, means the gate maximum tolerable voltage should not be exceed the voltage drop across this R3. That is why we have to consider this case. This case is what? in this case Vs means supply voltage divided by R1 plus R3 into R3 means this much voltage apply across the R3. That should be always less than the gate maximum voltage. Okay, we have to understand this. Now we are considering, take a example, numerical example. It will help you to understand what should be the value of R1 and R2 in a real problem. Okay, so let's go for it. Suppose in this problem what is in Vs, supply voltage is 200 volt, supply voltage is 200 volt, and gate maximum current is given is 20 ampere and gate minimum current is 5 ampere. What does it mean? Ig, supply voltage is 200 volt, that simple thing. Ig max 20 ampere means what? The ACR gate terminal can resist only up to 20 ampere current. If the current is more than 20 ampere, 21 ampere or 22 ampere, that will be create a permanent damage to the gate terminal of this ACR. And Ig mean 5 ampere means what? If the gate terminal is below 5 ampere, with the help of gate terminal, when the current is below 5 ampere, we cannot triggering on this ACR. Gate terminal current is minimum more than 5 ampere, then only we can fire this ACR through this gate terminal. Okay, so Ig mean 5 ampere means this. So then what should be the value of R1 and R2? Let's go for it. So R1 means what? When we considering R1, we have to think only one thing. This circuit have only one resistance, that is R1. Supply voltage is 200. Okay, so the current should not passing more than 20 ampere because Ig max is 20 ampere. That is why R1 value should be equal to 10 ohm or more than 10 ohm. Means if that is 10 ohm, then how much can current passing? Because voltage supply is 200, so current can passing only 10 ampere, only 20 ampere through this circuit. Okay, so gate is not damaged. But if the R1 value is less than 10 ohm, suppose let us assume R1 value is 8. Okay, then how much current is passing through this? So a 200 by 8 means what? 25 ampere. So 25 ampere current will passing through this circuit. Then the Ig max is, then 25 ampere is more than Ig max, so this will be damaged. But if this is more than 10 ohm, suppose let us assume this is 20 ohm, that is no issue, because if this is 20 ohm, then how much current will be passing? 10 ampere. So in this way we have to select the value of R1 which is equal to 10 ohm or more than 10 ohm. Okay, but in here we will not take a R1 value in such a way that the current is less than 5 ampere. We will not consider this case. Okay, so the right answer is R1 should be equal to 10 or more than 10. That is the right answer. So if let us assume R1 is 10 ampere. Okay, just assume R1 is a constant value 10 ohm. R1 is a constant value 10 ohm, not ampere, it's ohm, 10 ohm, because this is the resistance. So in that time, what should be the R2 value at time of varying? Because at time of triggering, R2 value should be such a that is less than 5 ampere, then we can trigger, otherwise we cannot trigger. Okay, so that is the value should be less than the 5 ampere. That is why we have to consider our R2 value of 30 ohm. Starting should be from 30 ohm because this 30 and this is 10, they are in series, so total is 40 ohm. This 40 ohm if divided by 200, then it's come 5 ampere. If we start decreasing this 30 ohm from this 30 value to 25, 24, 23, in this way we can increase the minimum gate current. In this way we can trigger the ACR with the help of this R firing circuit. This is the most cost-free trigger firing circuit for the ACR. But in this R firing circuit has some limitation. So let's go for it. What is actually the limitation of it? The limitation is that generally in R firing circuit we cannot trigger when the after 90 degree, means the triggering angle always vary from this is the 0 degree, all we know, and this is the 90 degree. We have to trigger the circuit with 0 to 90 degree. We cannot trigger after 90 degree, means 90 to 180 degree we cannot trigger in this particular portion. But why and how? Let us assume this is the peak value is Vm. Okay, so at 30 degree we can say this is the Vm sin 30 degree. At 60 degree what is the voltage value? Vm sin 60. At in this particular point what we can say? Vm sin 90. Okay, so this is the supply voltage, means at 30 degree how much voltage apply between anode and cathode? Vm sin 30 degree. At the time of 60 degree how much voltage apply between anode and cathode? Vm 60 degree. What does it mean? It means that on that particular 30 degree, when we are thinking about 30 degree, the anode cathode, this is anode, this is cathode, means this voltage is Vm sin 30. In here the potential difference is Vm sin 30. When the Vm sin 30 is potential apply between anode and cathode, let us assume the 3 ampere gate current is required. Okay, when the Vm sin 60 is applied, means which is more than Vm sin 30, so in that time gate current required is 2 ampere, because in here anode cathode pressure is more compared to Vm sin 30, so that is why required gate current is less. When the Vm sin 90 means maximum potential difference created between anode and cathode, then very less amount of gate current is required, that is 1 ampere. So that is why this is 3 ampere required in time of Vm sin 30, 2 ampere is required at time of Vm sin 60, and Vm sin 90 in that time 1 ampere is required, because the potential difference increases, that is why gate current reduces. That we can conclude from the VI characteristics of a SCR. So in here, suppose if we want to trigger the SCR at 30 degree, then we have to set the value of R2 in such a way, means we have to set this R2 position in this terminal in this R2 such a way it can provide the value 3 ampere current in the gate terminal. Okay, so that is why it can trigger on Vm sin 30. Okay, so if we want to trigger on Vm sin 60, we have to position the R2 in such a way that it can provide 2 ampere current. If we want to trigger on Vm sin 90, it should be placed in the such a position it can be provide only 1 ampere. Suppose now if so this is possible, we can trigger 30, 60, 90. Now what is the problem? Let's check when we try to trigger it on Vm sin 120 degree. So Vm sin 120 degree, when we trigger, then required gate current is 2 ampere. So we have to set the R2 in such a way that it can provide 2 ampere current. Okay, but when the supply voltage increases from 0, 30, 60, when it comes to 60, it already triggered. It cannot reach to Vm sin 120, because the potential difference created Vm sin 60 equal to Vm sin 120. Same thing happening over Vm sin 30 with Vm sin 150. Suppose if we want to trigger the SCR at 150 degree, so that for doing this we have to set the gate current 3 ampere. We are setting the gate current 3 ampere and start the supply. But when the supply start increases, when it come in this particular point, Vm sin 30 come to act, and that trigger with the help of 3 ampere gate current. It cannot reach to this Vm 150 degree, because Vm sin 150 equal to Vm sin 30. That is why we can trigger up to only 90 degree, because if we consider in this particular point, this is suppose 45 degree, that should be same with this point. Vm sin 135. If this is 45, so that should be same with the Vm sin 135. So every point, so if we set any value of angle, suppose 35, that should be equal to some point of over here, because every magnitude, this voltage magnitude from this 0 to 90 degree, that is same from the 90 to 180 degree. That is why the limitation of this R firing circuit is it can trigger only 0 to 90 degree. This is the limitation of R firing circuit. So let's go for the RC firing circuit. Let's check how we overcome this problem of 0 to 90 degree. Okay, let's go for the RC firing circuit. So this is the RC firing circuit. In here, in previous circuit we are using only 3 resistor, but in here we are introducing a capacitor. That is why this is known as RC firing circuit. In here, this is the load, this is the supply voltage, two auxiliary diode we are using, D2 and D1, and this is the our ACR. In ACR, this is the anode terminal, this is the cathode terminal, and this is the gate terminal. Means we have to provide some positive signal across this gate terminal, then only this ACR will be on when anode is positive and cathode is negative. Okay, so let's go for it. For better understanding this, we are considering this AC supply voltage from the negative half. That will easier to understand. So in here, in negative half means what? This is positive, this is negative. So in case of now from the positive, the current flowing through this green terminal, so that's come from the supply, it's come through this capacitor, and after the capacitor it go through this diode and again back to supply. In here, when the current passing through this green channel, then what will be happen? Capacitor is charged with the lower part is positive and upper plate is negative. This is the positive and this is the negative. In this way, capacitor is charged. So in this way, capacitor will be charged in the negative half cycle. Now come the positive half cycle, means the red terminal. Red terminal. In here, red is upper supply is positive and lower is negative. So current are now flowing with this red line. So that is go through the load and then go through this resistance across this capacitor and fall back to supply. Now what will be happen? In this time after negative, when it come to positive supply is positive half cycle is come over here, then what will be happen? Capacitor discharging from the upper plate negative, lower plate positive to upper plate positive and lower plate negative. So they are changing its polarity from here to here. It's changed its polarity because previously it charged upper plate is the negative, lower plate is the positive. When we apply a positive half cycle, then this capacitor discharging and charging in opposite polarity. Upper plate is positive, lower plate is negative. Now this charging and discharging time is depend on the value of R. If the R value is very higher, then it take much time to this green polarity to red polarity. So green polarity to change from green polarity to red polarity. Okay, if the R value is very less, it very fastly change from this green polarity to red polarity. So when that is changed from the green to red means what? Upper plate is positive and lower plate is negative. So we apply a positive signal across the gate terminal, then it will be, this thyristor will be on, this ACR will be on. So now we can vary the ACR on timing, means alpha, with the value of R. If R is higher, it take more time to green to red, so it more delay, it will more alpha, the triggering angle or delay will be more to trigger on this ACR. If R is less, then what will be happen? It is very fast change from the green to red. What will be happen? It very fast trigger the ACR, so alpha will be less. So let's check it through the waveform. So this is the waveform of the circuit. So this is the supply voltage. Okay, we are considering from the negative half. Okay, and we have to consider one thing is that VGT. VGT means what? This much voltage, if this much means VGT is applied across gate and cathode terminal, then only ACR will be on. So when the voltage VC means capacitor voltage VC equal to VGT, then only ACR will be on. Okay, so let's go for its waveform. So in here, this is the supply voltage and we started from the negative half for easy understanding. Okay, and this much voltage when applied means this magnitude, that is known as VGT. If this much voltage is applied, then thyristor will be on, means gate will be triggered, or this is the firing condition. When the capacitor voltage equivalent to, when the capacitor voltage touch this means capacitor VC equivalent to VGT, then ACR will be triggered. Suppose let's assume this first line when the R value is very less, then what will be happen? Capacitor in this time in the negative half cycle peak value, that is in the fully charged, fully charged in the green polarity. Already we said that is the green polarity. This is in charge in the green polarity. Then it start discharging. Okay, when the positive half is applied, then it start discharging very fast. Okay, because R value is very less, and they are changed to polarity with the red polarity. Now in this particular point, this is changed to red polarity. Green changed to red polarity means upper plate goes to positive and lower plate goes to negative. Okay, then again further is charging with that same red polarity. When it touch the VGT line, means when the capacitor voltage is equivalent to VGT, gate terminal voltage, then it will be triggered on. In that time, output voltage started from here, and when that is triggered, the output voltage follow this waveform. Look at this carefully, because in this particular line there is two waveform is given, for the very low value of R and for the very high value of R. We are now considering only very low value of R. So in that case, R is triggering, this SCR is triggering at this particular line. So from here voltage is applied, and from here output voltage across the load is 0. From this, when the trigger is on, the voltage is come to the load. Okay, and the thyristor voltage is how much? Up to this portion is thyristor is off, so voltage start from here and goes to here, and after that it goes to 0, again negative half. So this is the voltage across the thyristor. Whatever I am explaining up to this point, that is for the R is low. Now we considering, so in this case alpha is how much? Alpha is this much, alpha is less. Now we considering R is higher. Then what will be happen? The change from the green polarity to red polarity and reach to the same value of VGT, it take more time. Okay, so in that case SCR will be triggered after this much. So in here alpha will be higher. So now the output voltage, means voltage across the load, is something like this. Okay. So voltage across the thyristor, voltage across the load is something like this, that is started from here, it continues follow the 0 line, then it start from here and again goes back to 0, and again it goes to negative half. Okay, so now in this case, means when the R is higher, then what is the thyristor voltage? Thyristor voltage is something like this. In this way, it started from 0, increasing, further increasing, then start decreasing and goes to 0, then again the negative half. So in this way, if we vary the R value, we can trigger it over here, we can trigger it over here, and we can trigger it over here. So we can trigger the SCR with a huge span, nearly approximately 0 to 180 degree. We got a span to trigger in case of RC firing circuit, which is not possible in the R firing circuit. So this limitation of R firing circuit, it can be overcome by this RC firing circuit. In here R firing, in this here R firing circuit, R is proportional to the angle of alpha, means triggering angle. If R is higher, triggering angle will be higher. If R is lower, then triggering angle will be lower. Okay, so this is the firing circuit. So in this way we can trigger the SCR. Okay, so let's go for the thyristor commutation. Thyristor commutation means what? In the previous process we have seen by which we can triggering on a SCR, means thyristor will be on. Once thyristor turn on by applying a gate signal, when the gate signal is removed, then SCR will does not back to off state. Okay, so for doing the off the SCR, we have to know few things. What is those? Two things we have. If we apply across the SCR, then it may be back to off state. What is those? If the anode current falls below the holding current, then only thyristor back to off state. Otherwise, if apply a reverse voltage for a sufficient time to enable its blocking mode. So means that once thyristor is on, if we remove the gate signal, thyristor will never be off. Then what will be we have to do? We have to by using hook and crook, we have to reduce the anode current below the holding current. Then only SCR will be off as per the definition of the holding current. And also in that time also it may store some energy. So obviously after thyristor turn off, it is very effective if we apply a reverse voltage for a sufficient time to its discharging condition and enable the blocking mode as previous. So these two conditions if we establish or install, then only thyristor will be commutated. Okay, so in here there is two type of commutation we know. One is known as natural commutation, another is known as forced commutation. Natural commutation is only possible in the AC circuit, because in AC supply in every cycle it attain a zero value once, means in this is a cycle, in this cycle it attain this zero value once, and it also apply a reverse blocking condition in this particular second half zone, means negative half zone. So in case of the AC, when we considering the AC supply, we don't think about the commutation because it is naturally commuted. Thyristor if we trigger over here, it automatically on this in this negative half, automatically it will turn off in the negative half. So this is known as the natural commutation. But if we consider the DC case, if we trigger something circuit over here, it cannot be turned off in the entire time period, because in any time it not reach the zero value or not reach the negative value. So in case of the DC circuit, when we try to turn off the ACR, then we have to use some extra circuit with implemented, we have to some implemented extra circuit with the ACR circuit. So that is known as the commutation circuit. There is few commutation circuit, class A, class B, class C, class D. In here we are in this particular video we will discuss class A commutation and class B commutation. Okay, so let's go for the class A commutation. So for understanding the class A commutation, we have to know one thing very clearly: what is the under damped condition, what is the critically damped condition, and what is the over damped condition. So this is the under damped condition, okay, this is the critically damped condition, and this is the over damped condition. Okay, so in here we have to make the circuit in such a way that it always under damped, okay, means we have to use the value of R, L and C in such a way it always under damped. So in these particular cases in here actually we have to use R, L, C in such a value, it will consider this value R square should be less than equal to 4L by C, because this is the under damped condition. If we implemented this under damped condition, then it automatically create some zero crossing value which will help us to turn off the ACR. Okay, so this is the under damped case. So in this case, in the class A commutation, so this is the circuit of class A commutation and this is the waveform of the class A commutation. So we'll explaining what is the circuit over here. So this is the class A commutation circuit. In this circuit we are consider every commutation circuit we consider a DC supply, because in AC supply we already know that is naturally commutation is possible, but in DC we have to use the forced commutation. Okay, so there we consider a DC supply, this is the SCR. Okay, and in here we are not considering the gate terminal circuit because we assuming that there is a trigger firing circuit. Already we seen R firing, RC firing, that is over here. Okay, and there is a L circuit, there is a L and there is a C, and this is the load R. So this entire R, L, C should be satisfy these conditions, that R square should be less than equal to 4L by C, because that is the under damped condition. In this case what will be happen when the trigger, means let us assume at T equal to 0, the VC capacitor, this voltage is now 0 and gate is trigger. We are applying a gate voltage. Okay, we are applying this gate terminal, means we are just firing this gate circuit. Then what will be happen at T equal to T1, SCR will be on, means this SCR will be on. This is a on state switch, means short circuit path. It provides a short circuit path. So in this way, what will be happen? Capacitor now, when the current passing through here, these two terminals, capacitor start charging. Capacitor start charging with the polarity. What is the polarity? In here, when we write VC upper positive, lower negative, means this upper plate goes to positive and lower plate goes to negative. In this way, capacitor start charging. Okay, in this way, capacitor start charging. When the capacitor start charging, what will be happen? There is a current flow across this SCR. This should be there should be a mention ISCR. I am sorry to mention over here. Here you mention ISCR. So there is a current start flowing from here. That is the ISCR. Okay, so from current start flowing from the T1 and current goes try to increase and then going to decrease. Because why? Because at this particular point to particular point, means half, then the capacitor firstly charging, firstly take the current. When the polarity difference between this capacitor and this voltage are getting similar, then the value of current will be goes down. Okay, so in this way the current waveform looks like this. At the particular point when T equal to T2, then capacitor is fully charged with the help of this VDC, means DC supply. Capacitor is fully charged. When the capacitor is fully charged, then what will be happen? The current flowing through here, that goes to zero, because what we know, when the capacitor fully charged, that act as a open circuit, so current cannot flow this SCR. Okay, and in this time what will be happen? The capacitor should be stored charge is more than this VDC, so that is why it also provide a reverse force to this SCR, and SCR will be off. So that is why ISCR, means current across the SCR goes to zero and SCR will be off. Then what will be happen? This capacitor now upper plate is positive and lower plate is negative. Now at T, from this particular point, means from here, when the capacitor is fully charged and open circuited, and SCR will be off. After that portion, what will be happen? Then the capacitor is discharged through this RL, means this load, through this load RL, and again goes to zero. So at T equal to 3, VC is fully discharged and came to as previous states, means where VC equal to 0. So in this way we can commutation is possible. This is known as the class A commutation. In this way we can turn off the SCR while the supply is DC. What will be happen? From first the voltage current start build up through this SCR, through this C, and capacitor start charging with the polarity upper plate positive, lower plate negative. Once time will become when this capacitor is fully charged and that stored charge more than VDC, so current flowing through this terminal goes to zero, because fully charged capacitor is acting as an open circuit. Then the capacitor, whatever stored charge over here, that is plus and this is minus, so that is discharged through this RL, means load. Okay, that is why in this particular point capacitor goes to zero. So this is the entire description of the class A commutation, and this is therefore the remaining part is the same as the second position. And this last waveform is known across the voltage across the SCR. What do we know? When there is current is not flowing, means switch is off, then voltage across SCR. So this much voltage across SCR. When current is flowing through this SCR, means switch is closed, means short circuited path. So voltage across this switches goes to zero. This is the 4-mode switch operation. Already we discussed in the first lecture. You can understand from there. So that is why voltage from this point to 0 to T equal to 0 to T1, there is a voltage, and T1 to T2 as the SCR is on, so that time voltage goes to 0. Again at the T equal to T2, the voltage start build up from the negative, because in this time the voltage across SCR is the voltage, whatever the voltage stored across VC, that is voltage applied the SCR, because VC at the time of T2 is more than VDC. So voltage across the SCR is equivalent to VC, which is already we know reverse, because upper plate is positive, lower plate is negative. That is why voltage across SCR is in negative half. Okay, then again capacitor start discharging, so that is why capacitor voltage goes to capacitor discharging, that is why voltage across ACR again further increases and back to its previous position, same as VDC. So in this way class A commutation perform. Okay, so let's go for the class B commutation. So this is the class B commutation. This is the circuit description. What is this? There is also a DC supply that is known as Vs. When this is positive, this is negative. In here, this is our main thyristor T1 and this is the load. And this remaining part means this C, L, D and this auxiliary thyristor, this four part is known as the commutation circuit. So this particular state line means from here to here and here to here is known as main circuit, and this portion is known as commutation circuit, where we consider a C, L and auxiliary thyristor TA and a diode D. Okay, so in here our main target to turn off this thyristor while applying the voltage is DC. Clear? So let's check what we are performing over here. In this particular case, when t equal to 0 means at the very initial stage, what we do, we have triggered this ACR IG1 by this IG1 is triggered. IG1 is triggered by this gate pulses. Okay, so T1 is on. When the T1 is on, so current should be flowing from the here from this path. So in that case, output current equivalent to thyristor 1 current, that is our written over here, IO equal to IT1. Okay, and capacitor we are considering that is previously full charge with the polarity with the left plate is positive and right plate is negative. That is why written over here VC equal to plus VS minus means this capacitor is fully charged as the same polarity of Vs, but the left plate is positive and right plate is negative. Okay, so in this way capacitor is fully charged with the same as voltage Vs. Okay, so and TA thyristor auxiliary thyristor is off. That is why if this is positive is this negative, if thyristor is off, the IC, the current passing through here, that should be 0 because it cannot get any complete path. That is why IC is 0. IC is 0 and output current means current across the load equivalent to IT1. That is why we are drawing over here IO IO equal to a straight line with the same magnitude, which is same as IT1 up to this portion there is acting as a straight line. Okay, and capacitor current IC is 0, that is why it is the 0, and capacitor voltage at the same, but left plate is positive and right plate is negative, that is why it also provided straight line. So I hope from this particular point to this particular point is clear. So now we consider the second point at t equal to t1 means this particular point. In this particular point, what will we do? We do that we again create a pulse, again we supply a pulse. In this time we are supplying this pulse to the auxiliary thyristor. So auxiliary thyristor obviously on, IGA trigger and auxiliary thyristor is on. When the auxiliary thyristor is on means this is an on switch and this capacitor is, this side is positive and this side is negative, so it can easily on by applying the gate terminal. Then what will be happen? Capacitor start discharging and charging to opposite polarity. Means what? This is positive, this is negative. Capacitor now start discharging capacitor to auxiliary thyristor, then L, then C, again auxiliary thyristor LC. In this way means anti-clockwise. In this way, when capacitor discharging, then what will be happen? In the opposite way, it will be charged with the polarity of left plate is negative and right plate is positive. This thing will be happen obviously. So this thing happening over here, you look at here, capacitor now discharging means this particular portion from here to here, then capacitor left plate is positive and right plate is negative, but after this point 0 crossing, then what will be happen? Capacitor change its polarity means now its left path is negative and right path is positive, so capacitor in this way discharge and charge, okay, in after triggering on this auxiliary thyristor. Okay, so from this particular point to this particular point, I hope there should not be any doubt. And in this time capacitor current start increases, when it start decreasing and again charging. When it's come to its fully charged, then capacitor current goes to 0, that is come t equal to t2. Means this condition, now we are considering this particular time period where t equal to t2. In this time what will be happen, capacitor is now fully charged with its negative polarity, means left plate is negative and right plate is positive. Okay, in this time what will be happen, capacitor now when this is negative and this is positive, then what will be happen, capacitor, this IC current is now discharging through CLD T1 and again CLDT1. Then capacitor try to flow in this way, because why, because in this way, because this switch is now as a on state, means that is acting as a short circuit path, and this capacitor, this plate, means right side plate goes to positive and left side plate goes to negative. So in this way capacitor trying to discharge from this terminal, means through LD, and in this way capacitor start discharging. Okay, means what, capacitor current start again flowing in the opposite side and capacitor now discharging. Okay, capacitor voltage goes to discharging. So in this case when this is positive and this is negative, auxiliary thyristor is automatically off with the help of this capacitor, because capacitor now this side is left and this side is this left side is negative and this right side is positive. So positive apply across the cathode terminal and negative apply across the anode terminal, so auxiliary thyristor is off, no doubt. Okay, so auxiliary thyristor is off. In this time IT1 equal to thyristor current obviously equal to IO, means output current minus IC, because IC is now come to act. In this time what will be happen, IT1 continuously goes reduced because capacitor current start increasing, because it's discharging. In this way capacitor current increasing and IT1 goes to decreasing. Okay, and IO is constant. Okay, so in this way IT1 goes to decreasing. So sometime will become when t equal to t3, then IT1 goes to 0 and output current equal to IC, means this output current equal to IC. If IT1 goes to 0, then what will be happen, this circuit will be off, means this thyristor will be off. Then supply voltage passing through this from here Vs, then C, then L, then D, then load. In this way it create the complete path. In this way sometime will be happen when this capacitor is now, what is the polarity, capacitor is this plate, means right side plate is positive and left side plate is negative. Sometimes will be happen when the voltage is applied, current is passing through this terminal supply C, L, D and load, then capacitor will be discharged. Again capacitor start discharging with the polarity, and then it come to a particular 0 point when the capacitor is fully discharged. Okay, in that time what do you know, in that time capacitor is fully discharged. Okay, then again so current is now passing which terminal, from supply, from then again from this here, then goes through this capacitor L and diode, again load and back to here. So in this way capacitor at t equal to t5 again back to with the polarity, this is positive and this is negative, because current passing through here left to right, so left plate is goes to positive and right plate goes to negative. So when capacitor is fully charged at t equal to t5, then what will be happen, output capacitor current goes to 0, this thyristor is off, this capacitor is fully charged, means this is also act of open circuit, and this thyristor was already off in the t2 time period. So these three all are off. Then what will be happen, output voltage goes to 0 and capacitor current also goes to 0, and capacitor is fully charged with the right plate is negative and left plate is positive as the first state. Okay, so now it's ready for again a next commutation process. So this is the class B commutation. What will be happen here? In this particular case, for a very short time, look at here. Supply voltage is applied, thyristor is on, current is passing through this terminal. Okay, capacitor is charged with the left plate is positive, right plate negative. In this time, what will be happen? In the second part, we are triggering this on. Then what will be happen? In this way, the current is capacitor current is flowing to this anti-clockwise, and capacitor is fully charged to opposite polarity. Opposite polarity means what? Capacitor this side goes to negative and this side goes to positive. When this is positive and this is negative, then this thyristor is automatically off because reverse voltage is applied across this auxiliary thyristor. When this is positive, this is negative, thyristor T is off, then current is passing through this capacitor, current is passing through CLDIT, means the thyristor 1 against C, means there is a anti-clockwise current is passing through here. In this way, IT1 goes to 0. When IT1 goes to 0, means the thyristor current is goes to 0, this thyristor will be off. When this thyristor will be off, then what will be happen? Then supply voltage is passing through this, means supply current is passing through this here from the C, L, D and IO. In this way, current will be flow. In this time, what will be happen? Capacitor again fully discharged and fully charged. Is this previous case, as this is positive, this is negative. So once upon a time will came when these three terminal all are open and output current, capacitor current all goes to 0 at t equal to t5. So this is the class B commutation. This is one of the little bit tough commutation process. You have to understand it well before your exam. Okay. So for now, this is the end of class B commutation, and this PPT is given the below link of your YouTube video, and you can download from there, and also you can follow the PS Beamer book, because this is a little bit tough. You have to practice yourself before exam. In the next video class, we will discuss the class C commutation and class D commutation, and then we will discuss the rectifier circuit. For now, this is the end. Thank you.